Finally, we are finally to episode 3 in this breakdown of how the two versions of Silent Hill 2 treat the character of James Sunderland. If you haven't watched the first two episodes, you may want to do that first because what we talk about here with the endings is going to be built on what we've seen between the two versions up to this point. If you have, hopefully you've been following along and not just cursing the ground I walk on or claiming I don't understand anything about the game because I have a different take. I give you permission to be wrong, even if I'm obviously not. Now, moving on to the endings. I'm not really going to worry much about the joke endings since they obviously don't have anything to do with the main plot, though I will discuss the changes to the UFO ending, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I get why they did it. Anyway, let me preface all this by reminding you that all of the endings could be considered canon should the player want to play the game a certain way. I say that, but I think that probably only applies to the normal endings and not the joke endings, though the Sheba ending should honestly be canon for every game, let's be honest. However, since I don't think that's the case, we'll work through these one by one. Now, I do want to point out one thing that is a major difference between the original and remake. In both the Leave and In Water endings, after the fight scene, we see a conversation between James and Mary, with Mary on her deathbed in the final stages of her disease. In Remake, the only ending that shows this is the Leave ending. I'm honestly not sure why they cut this, since in the original, the conversation between the two ends slightly differently depending on which ending you get. So, while the OG has this conversation prior to two endings, Remake omits it from In Water. Again, I'll discuss that more in a moment. Let's start with Leave.
Mary?
When will you ever stop making that mistake? Mary's dead. You killed her.
Maria? It's you. But I don't need you anymore.
What? You must be joking. But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. And I'll never yell at you or make you feel bad. That's what you wanted. I'm different than Mary. How can you throw me away?
I understand now. It's time to end this nightmare.
No! I won't let you. You deserve to die too, James!
Mary?
James.
Forgive me.
I told you that I wanted to die, James. I wanted the pain to end.
That's why I did it, honey. I just couldn't watch you suffer. No. That's not true. You also said you didn't want to die. The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
James, if that were true, then why do you look so sad?
Mary?
James. Please. Please do something for me. go on with your life. In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you. Waiting for you to come to see me. But you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that. But I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here, waiting for you. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die, I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most. Especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I am so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. James. You made me happy.
Mary? I have missed you so much.
I've missed you too. We can finally be together. Forever.
No.
James. Honey. What's wrong?
I'm sorry. I know you tried,
James, please.
but she's gone. I know that now,
Stop it.
and I can't just keep pretending.
Shut up! What do you want? Do you even know anymore? I'm yours. I'm here for you. So what if I'm not her? I can give you what she never could. I can be better than her. What else do you want me to be? What else can I be?
I am so sorry, Maria. I really am. But this has to stop. It's time to let it go.
No.
What?
I won't let you do this to me. I won't let you go. I can't! James.
Mary.
Hey, handsome. Don't be. I told you. I wanted the pain to end.
Yeah. You did. But that's not why I did it. The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
If that's true, then why do you look so sad?
Mary.
It's okay, James. Here.
What is this?
It's what you've been looking for. In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday. But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place. Waiting for you to come and see me. But you never do. So, I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. I wish I could change that, but I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it is. The doctor came today. Told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this could be my last chance. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I missed you so much. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Every time you come to see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me. Maybe I just disgust you. I'm so sorry. When I first learned I was gonna die, I couldn't accept it. I was so angry. I struck out at everyone I loved. Especially you. That's why I understand if you hate me. But I want you to know, I will always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. Which means that as you're reading this, I'm already dead. But that's okay. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I just hope the pain will end soon, so that you remember me for who I was, and not what the disease made me. I want you to go on. I want you to live. For yourself, and for others. Like you did for me. James, you made me happy.
Right away, the tone of the ending is wildly different. In the original, James seems exuberant to see Mary, even though he knows she's clearly dead. Remake, James is still glad to see her too, because it essentially gives him the chance to say goodbye, but he realizes quickly that accepting any chance to stay with her would be a lie, and that he needs to stop lying to himself about what happened. In the original, he still makes this decision, but the tone of the conversation is quite different and feels more antagonistic for obvious reasons. And given how we see James in Remake, I don't think that tone would work for the scene, which is obviously why it's changed. James is resolute in his decisions in either ending, which I think is important. As for Maria, well, I'll cover her separately. There's obviously a major shift in how her character acts in this scene compared to new Maria. After the boss fight, we see the meeting with James and Maria. The dialogue in Remake is also a bit truncated. James agrees that Mary says she wanted the pain to end, but in the original, he also says that she also wanted to keep living. He also initially says he couldn't stand to see her suffer, before retracting it and saying that he actually hated her and wanted his life back. She doesn't seem to really believe that to be the case, saying that if that were true, then why does he look so sad? Again, this is where the remake does a good job with the camera work and the facial capture. You can see James's lip quivering as he's delivering these lines, and it's clear that he deeply regrets what happened and even hates that he ever had those feelings toward his wife. I think it's obvious he realizes what he did was wrong, and Mary didn't deserve to die that way. In the OG, she tells him to go on with his life, whereas in Remake, she simply gives him the letter he was looking for. Again, this is one of those bits that I'm sure people have very strong opinions on, but she tells him as much in the letter as well, so either way, that message still gets communicated. As for what the final scene means, in both versions, we see James leave Silent Hill with Laura. Some have seen this as some sort of punishment for James since, for a long time, people thought Laura was some other manifestation of Mary, but that turns out not to be true. In fact, I'm pretty sure Eddie and Angela are also confirmed to be real people as well. The only person that was a manifestation of James's psyche was Maria, for obvious reasons. So, is this punishment for James or something more? Well, sort of depends on how you look at it. If one sees it as James watching after Laura, who could probably still hate him, then yes, watching after some 8-year-old girl who hates her guts until she's able to be on her own, then yeah, that would suck. He could also simply be escorting her back to the orphanage, since it's implied that she has no parents in the letter Laura gives him at the hotel. A third option is that because of the contents of the letter, James may actually end up adopting Laura to honor Mary's wishes. Of course, the game never addresses if James ever faced any legal consequences for killing Mary. We don't really know how much time passed, but it couldn't have been long, since it's easy to see a tan line around James's ring finger where his wedding ring used to be, so it couldn't be that long. That and Laura's birthday is also a dead giveaway. Presumably, we aren't supposed to think too hard about it, since theoretically the town could just make her body disappear and then there would be no proof James did anything. It's just never really addressed. So whether this ending is good or not for James is a matter of interpretation. Personally, I used to think this was sort of a middle-of-the-road ending. Not a bad one, but it wasn't great either, besides James and Laura being able to leave. However, I've come to think maybe it is implying that James is trying to turn things around by honoring Mary's wish to have Laura as an adopted daughter. Just as a side note here, this is where the loop theory runs into some minor issues. If you don't know the theory, the idea is that James has been in Silent Hill for a long time and that he's been repeating the same cycle over and over until he either admits his guilt or meets some other condition. The problem is there's nothing that indicates Eddie, Angela, or Laura are part of this loop, and surely a real little girl like Laura wouldn't be subjected to this. All the dead bodies that are James's character model could just be the way the town is warning him of danger and what could happen to him there. Ultimately, Bloober confirmed that all the evidence for this theory was put in because it was a popular fan theory, but not because they were trying to confirm it. So, I don't really think it's a real possibility unless you say this just happens to be the loop they showed up in, which I guess could be possible. It's a fun theory. I just don't think the original devs intended for it to be the truth. I could be wrong, though. In Water is our next ending.
Mary?
Wrong again.
Mary's dead. You killed her.
Maria? Maria, I'm done with you.
What do you mean? But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. And I'll never yell at you or make you feel bad. That's what you wanted.
Now I understand. The problem is, you're not Mary.
No, James. I won't let you. I'll never let you have your Mary back.
Mary?
James.
Forgive me.
I told you that I wanted to die, James. I wanted the pain to end.
That's why I did it, honey. I just couldn't watch you suffer. No. That's not the whole truth. You also said that you didn't want to die. The truth is, part of me hated you for taking away my life.
You killed me, and you're suffering for it. It's enough, James.
Mary?
James,
Now I understand the real reason I came to this town. I wonder, what was I afraid of? Without you, Mary, I've got nothing. Now we can be together.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you. Waiting for you to come to see me. But you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that. But I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here, waiting for you. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die, I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most. Especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I am so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. James, you made me happy. James.
I miss you so much. I tried. I really did, but I can't. Just can't go on without you. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. I know this isn't what you would want. But I guess it doesn't matter anymore. You're not here. Are you?
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday. But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place. Waiting for you to come and see me. But you never do. So, I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know, I've done a terrible thing to you. I wish I could change that, but I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it is. The doctor came today. Told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this could be my last chance. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I missed you so much. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Every time you come to see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me. Maybe I just disgust you. I'm so sorry. When I first learned I was gonna die, I couldn't accept it. I was so angry. I struck out at everyone I loved. Especially you. And that's why I understand if you hate me. But I want you to know, I will always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. Which means that as you're reading this, I'm already dead. But that's okay. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I just hope the pain will end soon. So that you remember me for who I was. And not what the disease made me. I want you to go on. I want you to live. For yourself and for others. Like you did for me. James, you made me happy.
We again have a slight variation of James and Maria's conversation before the boss fight, and the original version also keeps the conversation with James and Mary at her bedside. The difference this time is that Mary dies abruptly without giving James any consolation for what happened. This would certainly fit with players being more risky with their health or examining certain items over and over again, which plays into the idea of James wanting to die as well. The dialogue and cinematography between the two versions is night and day. In the original, everything is said off camera and just consists of James stating he now remembers why he came here and questions why he was afraid of doing this in the first place. The remake expands on this quite a bit. James apologizes to Mary once again for what he's done and admits to not being able to live without her. He knows she wouldn't want him to do this, but she's not around anymore. This is obviously the bad ending, though some people probably like it because they would argue James deserves to die for what he did, and I think that's a fair way of looking at it. In both versions, Mary's letter plays out over an underwater shot with the letter floating towards the bottom. Obviously, James drove the car into the lake and drowned. Also, James takes a look at the back seat, which is a little revelation that Mary's body was in the back the entire time. There's a variation to this ending in the remake that is unique to this version.
I tried. I really did, but I can't go on without you. I can't forgive myself for what I've done.
I know. What's wrong, honey?
I miss you so much. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
It's okay.
you wait for me?
James. I've always been waiting for you.
Luke Roberts does a great performance here, and we see James speaking with another apparition of Mary. And whether this is all in his head or the town manifesting her in the car again isn't exactly clear, but it's obviously very real to James either way. And for the first time, we see James break down under the weight of everything he's done and weeps over Mary. He asks if she can wait for him, and after being told she always has been, the screen cuts to black and we hear the same sound effects as the In Water ending. I've seen a lot of people claim they're hearing a car door open and they think the rain gets louder, which is taken to mean that maybe James finally read the letter and instead of going down with the ship, as it were, placed some sort of heavy object on the accelerator and then lived his life until the day he would die normally. I've done side-by-side comparisons myself and listened to both versions repeatedly, back to back, and honestly, it sounds exactly the same to me. However, we don't see the letter floating in the water this time, and him asking Mary to wait for him could imply that he was having second thoughts about going through with it. This obviously seems different from the first version of In Water, where he states he knows she wouldn't want him to kill himself. All things considered, it could be that the statement that she has always been waiting for him gives him the assurance needed that it was alright to simply bury her in the water and go on living, or maybe turn himself in, who knows. If that's the case, then perhaps he took the letter at the last moment, and even though he may never let go of her, he at least doesn't dishonor her wish to keep living. Next, let's look at the Maria ending.
James, I've been waiting.
Mary, I'm sorry it took so long.
Didn't you want to see me?
Yes, I wanted to see you. Even an illusion of you. That's why I came here.
It's not true, is it? You killed me.
I couldn't watch you suffer.
Don't make excuses, James. I know I was a burden on you. You must have hated me. That's why you got rid of me.
It's true. I may have had some of those feelings. It was a long 3 years. I was tired.
That's why you needed this Maria person? James, do you really think I could ever forgive you for what you did? You killed Mary again?
That wasn't Mary. Mary's gone. That was just something Maria? Maria?
What, James?
I want you. I want you with me.
Are you sure?
Come on. Let's get out of here.
What about Mary?
It's okay. I have you. You'd better do something about that cough.
Mary?
James. I've been waiting. It's been so long. Didn't you want to see me?
Yes. More than anything. You're all I ever wanted.
That's not true. Is it?
Mary?
You killed me, James.
Yes. I did. I couldn't bear to see you suffer.
Don't make excuses. I know how you saw me, how you felt. You really hated me. Didn't you?
It's true, I may have had some of those feelings. It was a long 3 years. I was so tired.
I guess I understand. I know I was a burden. You wanted a long, happy life. Something I couldn't give. Can she?
Mary, please, if I could...
No, James.
Those were the last precious moments I had. How could I ever forgive you?
What is this?
Is what you've been looking for.
Let's go.
Better do something about that cough.
This is my most hated ending for a couple of reasons. My biggest reason is that from my perspective, this is the ending that so many people use as proof that James never loved Mary and that he was only ever interested in Maria during the game. It also shows him to be heartless, and it feeds into all the fan theories of James being an irredeemable misogynist and sexist due to the nature of the monsters in the game. Second reason is that this ending does in fact paint James as pretty much all of those things. The problem though, especially with the fandom, is that it seems to be forgotten that this is only one possible ending and it's wholly dependent on how the character plays the game. Like, I played the original Last of Us and mastered it to the point of going full stealth without killing a single human unless I had to, especially in the hospital. So, rather than Joel just being a complete psycho who just mowed down anyone and everyone with reckless abandon, he didn't kill unless forced to. So when people would talk about him being a ruthless killing machine, I always thought, not in my playthrough he wasn't. Plus, stealth helped with resource management, which was the real reason. Anyway, the point is that the Maria ending is only one way of playing James and how he interacts with Maria. I would say getting this ending can retroactively impact how you view earlier scenes, such as how James reacts to Maria's statement in the prison cell, or after she says he needs to protect her after being reunited at the hospital. As for the ending itself, the dialogue plays much the same, and while, again, I think the original actor did decent enough, Roberts does such a good job of making James seem like a total douche nozzle. From the line delivery and facial expressions, it's clear he's still in denial and won't admit the truth about what he did. He also gets called out for wanting Maria instead. Even worse is that when the fight is over, we see James go out of his way to find Maria at the club. When given the letter, he doesn't even bother to read it or show any interest in it. In the original, she just sort of shows up and talks to him about killing Mary again. James is apparently too stupid to realize he's talking out loud to Maria and seems surprised she's there again, which he shouldn't be, since death only seems to be a minor inconvenience for her. He's also explicit about wanting Maria to be with him and that everything is fine because he has her now. In both endings, James has learned nothing and according to that ending, was going to repeat the same cycle with Maria. The line about doing something about the cough sounds cold and sinister no matter which version. So I think both of them really conveyed just how irredeemable James is in this ending. However, as I said before, this is only one possible ending. You know what? Let's quickly watch the Sheba ending for both.
Omae no shiwaza datta no ka?
Fuck ass shit. Nie. To nie może być prawda.
It's great in both versions. Who cares? The UFO ending is where we see another major change. Now, in the original, James meets Harry from Silent Hill 1 in all his original PSX glory. In Remake, James meets PS2 James. Now, this is the one joke ending that they changed, and I'm conflicted on it. I think the original version is better because of the direct connection to Silent Hill 1. In fact, Silent Hill 3's UFO ending has both Harry and James meeting with Heather, so there's some great continuity here. However, Remake's version was done before there was ever any announcement or confirmation that there would ever be a Silent Hill 1 remake. Presumably, Konami wanted to see how well this one did before greenlighting a remake of the first one, which is sorely needed since they no longer have the original source code or assets to do a proper remaster. So they didn't include Harry, I would assume, because they didn't want to be presumptive, and for those who had never played the first game, it might be confusing since they wouldn't necessarily get the reference. Still, I wish they had kept it the same, even if they didn't know they would ever get to remake Silent Hill 1, since not only would it be completely faithful to the original, but it may have perhaps drummed up even more curiosity from new players to know more about Harry and increase interest in a remake of the first game even more. The last original ending is the Rebirth Ending, where James sets out to actually bring Mary back to life.
James.
Maria, I'm finished with you.
What? But I'm what you wanted. Mary's dead. Don't you understand? She's not coming back. But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. I'll never hurt you like she did. So why don't you want me?
Because you're not Mary. Without Mary, I just can't go on.
Oh, James. Come on, James. You must be joking.
Mary, you look so peaceful. Forgive me for waking you. But without you, I just can't go on. I can't live without you, Mary. This town, Silent Hill, the old gods haven't left this place. And they still grant power to those who venerate them. Power to defy even death. Ah, Mary.
James. What's wrong? Aren't you happy to see me?
I'm sorry. I know what you are, Maria.
What does it even matter? I am here for you.
You're not her.
She's gone, and she's not coming back.
You're wrong. There's a way. I can still bring her back.
What? No, that's not true.
But before I do, I need to kill that part of me that still clings to you.
Who the hell do you think you are? You don't get a say in this. Not anymore. Like it or not, I am here now. And I won't let it end like this. James.
Mary. You look so peaceful. Forgive me for waking you. But without you, I just can't go on. This town, Silent Hill. The old gods haven't left this place. And they still grant power to those who venerate them. Power to defy even death. Mary.
He's a little more upfront about not needing Maria anymore in the original, presumably because he'd already made up his mind about using some ritual to bring her back. Still, his dialogue basically boils down to, "Screw you, woman, I don't need you. I can't go on without Mary." This is made a little more explicit in Remake since James cites that there's a way to bring Mary back, which is why he doesn't need Maria anymore. In the last shot of the OG ending, it's made a little more explicit that the ritual seems to have worked, but given the nature of Silent Hill, we're probably looking at a monkey's paw situation. One last ending unique to Remake is called Bliss, which consists of James taking some sort of medication while watching the VHS tape, and then seems to be inside the video, which was obviously not what originally happened.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Promise you'll take me again, James.
I promise.
Come on, we need to finish packing. James, honey, did something happen?
No, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Fans of the series will recognize this substance as White Claudia, which played a role in the original game and was one of the major industries of the cult of Silent Hill. Anyway, James and Mary seem to be united together again, and when the camera cuts back to the hotel room, James is gone. However, is this because James actually disappeared? Did he wander off in some sort of hallucinogenic daze? Did he OD and die? We aren't told, which leaves the entire thing open to interpretation. Personally, I tend to think his giving into delusion allowed the town to take him, and he is forever trapped in the video, even if it is a lie that Mary is alive there. And with that should be all the endings. It's been a long 3 videos, but now it's time for me to wrap up my thoughts. First off, I want to be very clear about one thing. In no way do I want the remake to replace the original version. The enhanced PC edition is out there, and you can find the original PC version as abandonware last I checked. The original absolutely deserves its place in the video game Hall of Fame for what it was able to accomplish at the time with the soundtrack, writing, atmosphere, etc. I think anyone who wants to get into the series should absolutely play that one. And I would even recommend playing the original before playing the remake. For me, I want anyone who plays Remake to understand the groundwork and the massive shoulders it stands on. However, that doesn't mean I think the original is perfect or that it couldn't be improved upon. Hardware limitations that existed in the PS2 version don't exist here, and I think it's an improved experience as a result. A large part of that is going to be the voice acting. I know people want to genuflect towards the original game and pretend the original cast was perfect in every way, but they weren't. Any honest person with functioning eardrums can hear it. Most of the people in the cast had little to no acting credits prior to this game, and most have little to no acting credits afterward, except for Donna Burke, and even that isn't as voluminous as some other actors. So I really wish we could stop just glazing the original cast like they were all Shakespearean level actors who really brought a lot of depth and richness to the characters, because there are so many questionable reads that to claim otherwise is heavy coping. Now, that's not the same thing as saying you prefer how it was in the original. I will always love Barry Burton's line about gibble sandwiches in the original Resident Evil, or the infamous lockpicking line. The acting is so bad in that game that you can't help but love it. But I'm not going to lie to myself and say that newer recordings of the dialogue aren't just objectively better. I still adore the original cast's crappy performance, but having better actors and better written dialogue doesn't mean the remade version isn't leagues better or that it's somehow ruined. That's what I don't get. They fixed James's amateurish performances and made it sound more believable and thus relatable as a character. Not meaning we relate to wanting to kill a spouse, but, you know, throw the first stone and all that. For all people want to pontificate about, oh my goodness, the original had such a dreamlike quality to it because he sounded so detached and everyone seemed in the dark about what was going on. They want to act like that was intentional, just like somehow it was intentional that the combat was clunky in the original. No. It was because of amateur actors with no experience, often recording independently of each other, and the game not being focused on combat, so who cared if it was super polished? Again, the amount of revisionist history surrounding the game is astounding, and this is coming from someone who really likes the original version. I just think the remake polished it up and made it a better experience. Was it maybe a bit more padded in areas? Sure. And hopefully Bloober scales that back with the recently announced Silent Hill 1 remake and doesn't overdo it. But you know what? The same people whining about, oh, the game is too padded, they dragged it out too long, would be screaming and crapping their pants about the game costing $70 and being the exact same length as the original. Nobody hates games within a fandom more than the people in the fandom itself, and Silent Hill is no exception. As for James himself, I think the characterization really helps a lot. I had seen people claim that he felt odd and creepy in the original game and sort of out of touch with anything going on around him. That, of course, is due to the performance of the original actor. God bless him for giving it all he had, but it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, and I really wish people would be honest about that instead of arc welding rose-colored glasses to their face. James, I think, is portrayed in a much more grounded way, which makes the reveal that he killed his wife hit harder for those that didn't already know the story, either through memes or watching people play online. He isn't perfect, but Luke Roberts portrays James's struggle with grief and guilt with so much sincerity. I don't think anyone would ever justify what James did, I hope not. However, I do hope it lets people see him as a man who, after doing everything he could for his wife for a long time and even during her verbal abuse, something the game clearly wants us to recognize, James hit a breaking point. In a moment of weakness and letting his intrusive thoughts win, he killed his wife. Even more to the point, I think Remake helps to underscore the same thing that the original was going for. While James initially claims that he did it out of mercy and then retracts his statement to say that he was motivated by hatred and resentment, it's clear that Mary doesn't believe that to be true. Now, how much of that is the town making her say that, or if this depiction of Mary is actually a perfect mirror of her true personality can be up for debate, but the game plays it straight. Assuming this is the spirit of the real Mary talking to James again, she doesn't believe he truly hated her. He may have had a flash of anger and hatred in the moment it happened, but it's very obvious from most of the endings and the bulk of the game itself that James immediately regretted his actions and wishes he could take it back. Obviously, there was no bringing her back at that point, and even if he had tried, she was likely too weak to be revived. Getting the Maria ending changes all of this, and James is just an unrepentant douchebag who deserves everything bad that happens to him, but at least in the other ones, you can see that James snapped, and in a moment of anger and weakness killed the person he truly loved more than anything, even if he didn't feel it in the moment. Of course, you have your people out there who claim that James is just doing what all men do who take care of their cancer-stricken wives. Men just can't seem to stop themselves from abandoning their wives or even killing them. Of course, the study that supposedly proved that men are prone to leave their sick wives was flawed because the researchers screwed up when programming their formula to calculate the outcome. Other researchers couldn't replicate the results either, which was because there didn't seem to be any proof that men were more likely to do this than women leaving their sick husbands. So, all the man-haters who saw James as just another example in media of how all men are trash had that taken away. Not that they care enough to adjust their opinions on new data anyway. The point is, part of what makes James a compelling character is that we see how he tries to be helpful, is compassionate, tries to be understanding, and strives to do the right thing by Mary, despite his denial of what happened, by how he is clearly uncomfortable around Maria. Again, that changes if you go for that ending, but most other endings validate the idea that James is conflicted because while she looks like Mary and is a hotter and more fun version of her, she's not Mary and she's not a replacement for her. The question is ultimately this: is James a terrible person who sometimes does good things? Or is James a good man who committed an act of violence that was a mixture of anger and pity that he immediately regretted, and it broke his mind? Which is more in keeping with his character that we see? Again, a lot of this hinges on how you play the game, what ending you go for, and how you interpret things. I see him as the latter. I detest the Maria ending because I think it utterly ruins who James is. However, if you already see him that way, then that ending is just validation. I choose to see him in the way that Mary does in the Leave and Stillness endings. A broken man who wishes he could undo his actions because despite his anger and resentment after enduring hardship and even abuse from her, he still loved her more than anything and can't bear the thought of life without her. That's who I think James really is, and I think Remake did a much better job of showing us that side of him. One last thought. There's nothing here that indicates James hated Mary and hated taking care of her the entire time she was sick. It seems as though this built up over time and primarily as she started getting worse and worse and her verbal abuse increased. The amount of people out there who really think, well, James just couldn't stand having a boner that his wife couldn't take care of, so he killed her, is such a stupid, reductive view of the situation. Was he likely frustrated by that part of their marriage going away? I'm sure he was. Contrary to popular belief, most healthy marriages have good sex lives between spouses. Shocking, I know. They also enjoy spending time together and doing things. So, when all of those parts of the relationship began getting stripped away for whatever reason, it put strain on the relationship. He was also having to watch the woman he loved suffer and get worse, and there was nothing he could do about it, and she was becoming more verbally abusive towards him when he tried to cheer her up. So, again, writing this off as, heard there, James killed wife because horny, shows that the person has no real concept of what was going on and doesn't understand the complicated dynamics that can happen in these situations. But, then again, it's all because of that silly dog in the control room, so none of it's real anyway. It's just a simulation. Right, guys? No reason to shed tears over any of the other endings because Doggo is really the one screwing with James. Phew! What a relief. Anyway, that's finally it. Next, I'll be examining how Maria was handled in Remake and what I think of the changes that were made to her. And hopefully that video won't be as long since she doesn't have anywhere near as many cutscenes as James does, and that's true of most of the characters. James had the most for obvious reasons, and I wanted to try and do him justice and be thorough. I may miss something here and there, but hopefully I got enough right to make my point in a way that was understandable. I really did try to be as fair and as balanced as I could be in how I approached this. I know there are strong feelings on both sides, but I wanted to be clear that I say all this out of love for the game, both versions. And I think they should both be treated with high esteem because they both, in my opinion, do such a great job with the story of Silent Hill 2. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.